Hello and welcome to this week's episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing tonight, Josh?
Doing good, man. It's been a long friggin' week, and I'm just ready to
Really has.
change things up and have a fun episode tonight.
Yeah, we're actually going to switch things up a little bit tonight. It is going to be a hot take filled episode. But before we dive in there, everyone in the Auburn family knows what's going on with Brian Batty and unfortunately what happened to his brother. We just wanted to take a minute to say that our prayers are with him and his family. I couldn't imagine what they're having to go through, and hopefully
Two
everything
kids
turns
in
out for
one
the
night,
best.
man. Oh my gosh, couldn't imagine. Like just thinking about my daughters being in that
Hmm.
situation. I just can't imagine what his parents are going through. It's a crappy situation. Um, there's not a whole lot of information on him at all. I mean, he's gone
No.
through a couple surgeries, and each time he comes out, the doctors are saying that there's not any major improvements, which is obviously not a very good sign. But the Lord works in mysterious ways, so
Yep.
everyone's still holding out hope, and I hope everyone's keeping them in their prayers.
Yep. Yep. So, and unfortunately, there's no easy transition from that. So, we are going to take a minute and gonna go ahead and transition. We are, like I was saying, we are going to do a hot take episode. I have no idea what the takes are. I am of the two of us, I'm probably the most unhot take-ish kind of guy. I gave Josh a task to come up with some hot takes for us to react to,
20, not some,
and
20.
and just because I couldn't bring myself to do it because I'm just not that kind of person. I don't come up with hot takes very often, so we're going to dive right into it. Josh, hit us off with your number one hot take. I'm going to let you know if it is a hot take or if it is cold as ice, meaning that it is definitely plausible.
All right, well, here we go. I mean, some of these, while I was writing the list, man, I'm not going to lie. I tried keeping it Auburn related mostly. Most of them are Auburn related, but I do have a few SEC and general hot takes. Um,
Okay.
Coming up with this list was kind of difficult. So I'd write it down. I'm like, do I really believe that though? Um, this one I'm kind of 50-50 on because I feel the first one I'm about to give you in my opinion, is my hottest take on the list. I feel
Okay.
like there's so many butts on fire there where I could see it conceivably happening. First hot take is Florida wins the state of Florida, beating Miami week 1, USF week 5, and FSU in week 12.
Oh. Ah. Oh man. There's
You
no
can you
way
can
that
see it
happens.
happening. No, you can see it happening though.
Uh,
There's so much new
oh
talent
no.
because Billy Napier knows how to recruit. He recruited his butt off this past season. He lost a few recruits. I'm not going to say to which team he lost his recruits, but we talk about them a lot. But they have a lot of returning talent. They have a lot of new talent. Billy Napier is coaching for his job. Miami, they're 50-50 every single year. We all know
Yeah.
that Gus Malzahn
Yeah.
doesn't change anything up. It's not new in South Florida and FSU. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from FSU this year.
Oh man, that is a very hot take. I would say that that is one of the hottest. It's not going to happen. There's absolutely, positively no way. 0.0% chance that this
0.0.
happens.
I don't
0.0.
know, man. Here,
Uh,
let me pull their schedule up real
Flor-
quick because I had a reason.
you do that, but Florida is running the gauntlet this year on that schedule that you're about to bring up. This is a tough schedule. FSU is, I mean, they should be good. They're not going to be playoff contention good, I don't think, but they're going to be good. They have DJ Ugalali or whatever his name is. He
From
transferred
Clemson.
from Clemson
Yeah.
to Oregon State, and then from Oregon State now to FSU. So maybe third time's the charm. I don't know, but got to be a lot better than what Billy Napier is running there in Florida
I
because
agree with you, but I
oh
mean
man.
the reason I had them winning the state of Florida, winning the state, I said they would probably beat all three of them. Not probably, well, I had them beating all three of them on my list. Um, I could also see them going 2-1, which would also mean they won the state of Florida because they have Miami and UCF in Gainesville,
Oh,
and then they're going to Florida State. So Florida State
my,
would be the more realistic game to lose, but I
yeah,
still think
mark
they
mark
at the
my
very least they
words. Gus Malzahn absolutely boat races Billy Napier and the
hmm,
Florida Gators, and that is the last week we see Billy Napier
Cameron,
on the sideline for
we've
Florida.
all seen what Gus Malzahn does when he's boat racing teams. First game
He
comes to
takes his
mind is
foot
when
off the
we're
pedal. I agree.
yep. First game comes to mind
Yeah.
is when we're smashing LSU, and after halftime, he just like, okay, we're beating them enough. We don't need to beat them anymore. And then LSU comes back and beats us. I mean, I don't expect anything out of Gus Malzahn. I don't expect any new stuff, any adjustments whatsoever. They're definitely beating Miami and UCF.
Nope. Nope. That is definitely not happening. Okay. Let's move on. Moving on to the next one because that is not happening.
I'll stay on Florida.
Oh,
Florida
okay.
finishes
Is
seven
this
and
the
five
Florida
this season.
podcast?
No. It's just SEC hot takes right now. Florida finishes 7-5 and beats Tennessee for second year in a row.
Ooh. So if I went against this and said that this was ice cold, or I'm going to change that up and say it's freezing, as in Hugh Freeze, but uh, I would totally contradict my opinion on the first hot take. So I'm gonna say that that is the hottest of takes because it's not happening. 7-2 in
No, seven and
conference.
five.
Oh, 7-5 total.
Yep,
Okay, I thought you said
yep,
seven and
total.
two in conference.
No,
I guess there's only 8 games in conference, so it couldn't go 7-2. And they're gonna beat Florida, or they're gonna beat out Tennessee and Georgia for what did you say?
no. I said they finished 7-5 and beat Tennessee for second year in a row.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Um, man, that is a hot take because Tennessee's got that young stud of a quarterback that everyone is talking about, including yourself, I think,
I
and
did. I wrote
some
about him.
article.
I think he's one of the
Uh,
more overrated quarterbacks in the SEC right now.
Overrated.
Yep, one of the more
I
overrated
don't know, man.
quarterbacks.
We'll have to see what Josh Heupel can do, but no. Florida is a dumpster fire this year. Between Billy Napier getting sued by Rashada because he can't, offer a reasonable dollar amount. There's just too many distractions for him. Billy Napier is basically Brian Harson, but a better recruiter.
Uh, I don't know. This isn't on my list, but I would also seem to think that Florida would have a hard time firing Billy Napier if they have a down season this year because Florida easily has the hardest schedule in the country, easily.
The
It,
easiest, or I mean, the
no,
hardest.
hardest,
Yeah,
easily the
yeah.
hardest schedule in the country. So I would find it hard to believe that Florida would be like, okay, this is you're crap. You're getting fired after this after having to even if they go 500 this year, I just don't think Florida will be able to fire Billy Napier because he's going to have a big buyout regardless.
Is it? I don't know what the buyout is, but I'm calling it now. They're gonna fire Billy Napier, and they're gonna hire a certain coach that's getting paid over $70 million in dead money by a Texas school.
There's no way
He,
Jimbo Fisher gets hired in the SEC again, especially if he couldn't get the job done in Texas at Texas A&M with one of the largest budgets in
leading,
the world. There's no way.
but leading back to your first hot take, what did Jimbo Fisher do a lot whenever he was at FSU? He won the state of Florida. And
Yeah,
so
in a
that
weaker
I think is what they will
conference.
care about.
He won the state of
I
Florida because he couldn't do anything against other teams because Florida's been a dumpster fire since friggin' Tebow left.
hmm yeah, basically. But yeah, no, I Billy he's gonna get fired. They're gonna let him go. They're gonna use the schedule as an excuse. So
It'd be a crap
no,
excuse, in my opinion.
that is the hottest of takes because it's gonna happen. or not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Jeez, I can't even keep myself straight. All right,
Yeah,
moving on. Number
we'll
three.
bring it back down to earth here for a second. Quinn Ewers will be the leading passer in the SEC. They got a new
Oh,
freshman 5-star wide receiver, Isaiah Bond, transferring in for Bama. Quinn Ewers is one of the best quarterbacks in this coming draft class, and he's just going to show everybody why he should be the top quarterback
yeah.
in the draft class.
Um. So I think I'm gonna shock you here. I think that's a hot take. It's a hot take.
Okay,
Uh, because I think it's going to be Jalen Milrow.
there's no way.
Um, did you see what DeBoer did at Washington? He just aired the ball out. So I think that's going to happen. Plus, Quentin Ewers has not shown the ability to stay healthy an entire season. He's going to miss some of the season.
Didn't he play
You
every
know,
game last year?
no. I don't think he did. I think he missed like 2 games last year, and they were able to actually win those games while he was out. Please look it up and double check.
I'm looking
But
it up right now.
I do know that he was hurt the year before, so and missed the entire year. No, Quentin Ewers is going to get hurt. Arch Manning is going to get called up, and it's going to be the Arch Manning show from there on out. But even if Quentin Ewers doesn't get hurt, I think it's Milrow. I think Milrow is going to put up some numbers. He progressed so much as a passer last year, and now having an offensive minded coach, I think that's going to happen. I don't think Alabama's going to do great, and I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot because their defense is going to suck it up because the coach from South Alabama is way over his head in the SEC. So I think they're going to be playing from behind, and I think Milrow's going to have to throw it up.
I can definitely see that happening. I mean, just because you got a lot of passing numbers doesn't mean you're the top passer in the league, though.
I think it'll happen though. But did Ewers get hurt last year? Did he miss any time?
Yeah, he was. I think it was like 2 weeks, like you said.
Yeah. So
He was week to week in October.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
so far so
speaking of
good, man.
Jalen
I'm liking
Milrow,
these.
speaking
There
of
we
Jalen
go.
Milrow, Jalen Milrow will throw 10 plus interceptions this year.
Yes, that is a freezing cold take because it's definitely going to happen because of like I was saying, he's going to be
Yeah.
airing it out. They're going to be playing from behind. He's going to air it out. He's going to try too much. He's going to have some 4th and 31 opportunities that are going to get
Don't.
intercepted.
That's too far. That's too far.
Uh,
Too soon. Shut up.
Okay, it's
soon.
true, but at some point, okay, me and you, we were so upset with that play. But at what point during that lead up did you think, oh, they're not going to convert? We had been giving that play up all year long, the third
Yeah.
and long, the 4th and long, and so it kills me and it pained me, but it's just laughable at this point that we gave it up. And so
Well, it's going to
luckily,
happen when you only bring 2 rushers, Cameron. It's going to
yeah.
happen.
So, but yeah, Milrow is definitely going to throw some double-digit interceptions this year for sure. Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll get all the non-Auburn hot takes out of the way before I get to the Auburn one, since we're already on
Let's
a
do it.
non-Auburn roll.
Hell yeah.
Next one is Georgia loses 3 games in 2024.
Ooh. Okay. You got their schedule pulled up?
Yeah, let me get it pulled up real quick.
Okay. So while you're doing that could very well happen because Georgia, they lost their top 2 receivers
Yep.
when McConkey wasn't playing. They looked like a shell of themselves. He looked pretty good without Bowers when Bowers was hurt, but Beck looked like a shell of himself whenever McConkey was out. And we saw in the NFL Combine how good of a route runner McConkey is, and that's what helps him get open. So let's look into their schedule and let's
Yeah.
see if let's go. Okay, what did you say their record? They're going to lose 3. Okay,
3 games.
let's
Yep,
go.
3 games. So they're going to be 13 and no, not 13. I think there's 12 games in the season.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, they're going to be 9-3 this year. They
9-3.
play Clemson week 1 on a neutral field.
That's a
I'm
loss.
not going to list the cupcake games. They're not worth it.
Okay.
Then they play at Kentucky, at Alabama. They're at home versus Auburn, home versus
That's a
Mississippi
loss.
State, at Texas, at home versus Florida,
At
at
Texas
Ole
is a
Miss.
loss.
Yep, at Ole Miss, at home versus Tennessee, and at home for Georgia Tech.
Tennessee is going to win. Kiffin is going to Kiffin it, and it'll be like 4th and 3, and he's going to go for it, and it's going to be the game decider. And I was joking about Auburn. I really don't know if we had the
I
horses
mean, we
that
had
could
them on
beat
the ropes
Alabama.
last year,
We
Cameron.
did. We did, and so it very well could happen, but I just don't. I don't think it's going to. I think we're going to be Alabama this year, but yeah. I think I think that's a freezing cold take. That's freezing cold because
Freezing
it could
cold?
happen.
It
Yeah,
could happen, but I
yeah.
mean, freezing
I
cold would mean
I think
it's
it's
destined to happen. I would say it's chilly at the
no.
very least.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. Texas, Tennessee, and what was the other one I said? Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. You're
Clemson is going to
saying
come
we're
out
going to
there.
lose to Clemson, you think?
Yep, opening game of the year. The offense isn't gonna. They haven't gotten their feet under them, and Clemson always comes out there. And in the first game of the year, they're always playing really good
They're
defense.
always super energetic week one, always.
2 years ago, Clemson had no business hanging with Georgia in that opening game, and they
It's true.
did. And then the rest of the year, they got boat raced. So Clemson's going to be prepared, and I don't think Georgia's offense is going to be able to handle their defense first game of the year. So yeah, that's a loss. So I think it's happening. It's happening.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. Let's find the next one here. Okay. Here's the next one. Ole Miss finishes as the best offense in the SEC.
Ooh, man, that's a cool take. I think it's a cool take. It could happen. The best offense in the SEC. Oh man.
Best offense, number one offense in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean that they're probably going to be the leading rusher. Dart, it's his third year in the system. Yeah, I think that's a cool to a freezing cold take because it's either them or Texas. I think it's either them or Texas.
So, but Quinn Ewers isn't going to be the leading passer in the SEC, but they're going to have the number one
Nope.
offense.
Yep.
Make it make sense
Okay. Well, so
because it's a
Quentin Ewers
passing
is,
league.
right. Ewers is going to get hurt. Arch Manning is going to be is going to show up and just completely show out.
Okay,
No, I think Texas Sarkisian just he has a way of he just has always done really well, and I think he's a better offensive play caller than Kiffin is personally. Um, and so I think, oh man, I think you can have the best offense and not have the number one passing offense. And Texas has a very good running back, a good stable of running backs. Their wide receivers are explosive.
I mean they're replacing
I
a lot of
see
their
it.
wide receivers. Their
I
number
do,
one receiver is going to be the 5-star freshman, and
right,
then
but
what's his face from Bama.
that's what I'm saying, man. Steve Sarkisian, he when he was at Alabama, he was producing some top end talent at wide
That's
receiver.
true.
And so I think he's going to be doing better. Plus, I think Derek Nix is a huge loss for Lane Kiffin and Ole
It's a very
Miss.
big loss. Yes, I agree.
So
But
it very well could happen. Ole Miss could have the leading there, but it might not. So again, I think we're cool to freezing cold. I think I think it's right there. I think that's right there. It's either them or Texas, like I said.
all right, well that's all valid. Sticking on Ole Miss, Jackson Dart attends the Heisman ceremony.
Ooh, okay. No, that
You're
is
crazy. You are crazy.
that is hot. That is hot,
You are
man. Um,
crazy.
he throws too many interceptions. He's
He
too
had 5
careless with the
interceptions
ball.
last year.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then maybe it was just in my mind.
It was like 5 or 7.
Um,
It wasn't even close to double digits.
okay. Ooh, man. Okay.
With like
You're
27
talking me into it.
passing touchdowns, I think.
You're talking me into it. Jeez, how do they not have the number one offense in the league if he's not if he's there? Okay, it's cool. It's cool at the very least. It's cool. Okay.
You went
You
from
talked me into
smoking hot to cool.
yeah.
All right, moving right
Um,
on. DeBoer gets booed more than Bama fans are used to booing.
Oh, oh yes. Oh man, I think it's gonna happen because I think they're gonna lose 3 or 4 games this year.
Yes, it's going to be a transition.
Oh
That's to say.
yeah, he's already proven he doesn't know how to recruit. He's got some really good recruits. The ones that he
No,
gets to
I'm not.
commit.
I don't think he's the one recruiting those players. I think Bama, the name of
Mm,
Bama, is what's recruiting
yeah,
those players to Bama. After this
that's fair.
season or even next year, DeBoer is really going to show these players that he can't coach for shit.
Yeah. Well, I think he's a pretty decent coach. I just don't think he can get the horses. He wasn't even the top recruiting school in his own state
I know it.
of Washington. So I don't
It's going to be
think
hard to be the
I don't.
top recruiter in the state of Alabama when you got to
Yeah.
recruit against Hugh Freeze. It's just going to be hard.
Yep. Yep. So I think that is a freezing cold ice cube of a take because it's definitely going to happen. They are definitely going to boo Kevin DeBoer.
So
For
rate my hot takes then, Karen, because they've all been freezing cold apparently.
they've been. I mean, the hot takes. Some of them are hot.
You
Yeah,
thought the
I think
Florida
they're
ones were
good.
super hot.
They were those were super hot. Just because I am not high on Florida or Billy Napier. I was before he went to Florida, but so was everybody
Well, I'm
else.
not high on them either. I just think there's a fire and they're all feeling it. That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
think they do what they do. They would do
And
this year
and that's why they're hot takes because they're
because their seats
all
are on
on
fire.
fire.
Speaking of hot takes, Texas wins the SEC first year in the conference.
Oh man, that freaking sucks. I really don't want it to happen. I'm gonna say it's cool. They make the SEC title
Really?
game like Missouri did, and they lose to a powerhouse. They lose to somebody. Maybe their second time playing Georgia, and or maybe Old Miss offense versus offense. Oh man,
They
but
don't play
freaking
Ole
Lane
Miss this
Kiffin's gonna
year.
suck. I know. Well, in the SEC title game is what I'm saying. They're
Oh,
gonna make the title game, but then lose to somebody that's a well-established
with the
team.
realignment, there's no more divisions, right? With the
Right.
realignment,
It's just the
which means
top
that the
two
top two
teams.
teams. Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So, man, it's a cool take. It's a cool take because it very well could happen. I could totally see that happening, and I would hate it. I'm okay with them making the SEC title game, kind of like how Missouri did, and then Missouri for the next decade couldn't do jack diddly squat. So hopefully they have a similar outcome. Personally,
Okay, well, get ready for 11 straight Auburn hot takes.
let's
That's
do
all we
this.
got left, bro. I'm just gonna
Let's
go
do
top to
it.
bottom on these ones.
Mm-hmm.
Jarquez Hunter has 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns.
1,200 total yards, so not just rushing.
Rushing yards, just rushing yards.
Just rushing? Oh, that is a
Yep.
hot take. Hot take.
You
We are
think?
going to be passing at 60, 65, 35 all year long. All year long. So we are primarily going to be passing it this year.
Cameron, Jarquez Hunter had 909 yards last year with 7
Yep.
touchdowns. He missed 3 games.
Yep. But Alston also missed a lot, and he's going to be healthy, going to be there. Jeremiah Cobb is going to be back there. Our
Neither one of
backfield
them are going to get
is
more
too
carries
deep.
than Jarquez Hunter. I mean, unless
No, I don't think
Jarquez
they're
Hunter
going to get
takes a
more
friggin'
carries.
massive dump on
No,
the
I don't think
field.
they're going to get more carries, but they're going to take carries away from him. He very well could hit the touchdown mark. I just don't think he's going to get enough carries to hit the yardage mark. 1,200 yards in a Hugh Freeze offense. Name the last running back that Hugh Freeze had that hit that mark.
Well, name the
Name the
last
last
running back
1,000.
that was the talent level of Jarquez Hunter that Hugh Freeze had.
Right? No, that's fair. That's
You
fair.
can't waste that talent. This is Jarquez's last year.
Um,
Like
Brandon
his
Bolden,
last year.
probably. Brandon Bolden.
I haven't heard that name in ages, so I couldn't even tell you what his stats were.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what they were at Ole Miss, but I mean he was a NFL running back for a decade, and still
Oh,
is.
I know
think.
who he is. I just haven't heard his
Yeah.
name
Well,
in
yeah.
ages.
No, I know. Yeah. I think that's a really, really hot take. I think it's one of the hottest because I don't think he's going to get 1,200 yards. He may
Okay.
not even hit 1,000.
So you think
He's a really good
you think
back.
what's it called? You think they're gonna Hugh Freeze is gonna try to transition to an air raid offense then?
Not air raid, but we're going to have a 65-35 passing to run ratio.
Interesting.
And
That would be one of the
it,
lowest in Auburn history.
right, no, I agree. And from if memory serves, Hugh Freeze also played 2 to 3 running backs a lot when he was at Ole Miss. Like it was always a two-headed monster. It was never a lead back. And so I think that they're going to continue to use that. And I think that Jarquez Hunter and Alston are going to be they're going to be pretty close. I think Alston could very well be within 3 or 4 carries of Jarquez every game. And so I
I'm
think
thinking it's more like a 60-40, 55-45 split for this year at the very
mm,
least,
no,
because all the talent coming into wide receiver is either on the bench last year, didn't get a whole lot of playing time, unproductive
no,
last year, or they're
no.
newcomers.
First off, sorry to interrupt you, but there are only 2 returning wide receivers in that wide receiver room. Okay, of all the wide receivers we have, only 2 of them are returning. So of course,
I, I know, like
of
I
course
said,
they're going to be on the
because
bench this year. Yeah,
I'm just
no, I'm
saying
not.
there's just a lot of unprovens in the receiver room. Like I'm not disregarding any of the talent in the receiver room. I'm saying there's a lot of unprovens. They're going to have to depend on the running game a lot this year. Thorne proved last year that he can freaking boog on his feet, and they're going to utilize it. I know they don't want to do it as often as they
Yeah,
did last year. They've said that, but it's going to happen. There's going to be games where Thorne cannot get it going in the air as much as Hugh Freeze and Derek Nix would like. So they're gonna switch things up and they're gonna rely on the running game a lot more than you friggin' realize in 2024.
no, I think to keep these wide receivers around, the young ones, they're showing a proof of concept, and I think they're going to be jamming it down the throats.
Well, to have proof of concept, you got to have proof of production. And if they can't
Not
produce, there's no proof of
necessarily.
concept. Sure.
Not necessarily. Think about this. Okay,
So
hypothetical.
so
This
would
is
gravity be
hypothetical. You,
proven without the apple,
they
Cameron?
are what?
Would gravity be proven without the apple? There's concept and production.
Okay,
Without the physical representation of the concept, it doesn't work.
no, I get that, but there's a difference between proof in science and proof in football. Because proof in football is Hugh Freeze going to a wide receiver recruit or going to those wide receivers and saying, "Hey, we are committed to throwing the ball." Okay, it's not ideal that Peyton Thorne couldn't get you the ball last year. This is how many times. Look at how many times we threw the ball. Somebody else, Juju Lewis, is going to get you that ball. Walker White is going to get you that ball.
Yeah, I
We
agree.
have plenty
It'll
of
happen in the
balls to go
future.
around.
That's why
That's what he's going to sell him on. If Thorne does not make the throws that he can, either they're going to move on to from him and have someone else throw, and then the pitch will be we're throwing the ball and we need someone to throw it to these receivers. And then to the receivers, it's going to be, hey, we're throwing you the ball. Next year, we're going to have a passer that can get you the ball because we know that you're talented enough to get it. Trust me, there's going to be 30 passes a game. There's plenty of balls to be caught. That's what they're
Cameron,
telling the wide
I
receivers.
agree with you. That's why I said it's either going to be 60-40 pass to rush ratio or 55-45 pass to rush ratio. I know we're going to pass the ball more than run it this year,
Yeah,
but
a lot more.
35% of the time is way too low with the stable running backs we have. Because if you don't use those running backs, you're going to lose Jeremiah Cobb. You're not going to flip
No, I
Anderson
think.
from Penn State. You have like you're trying to recruit at an elite level at all these friggin' offensive positions. We're still trying to flip Alvin Henderson, and a lot of people are saying
Mm-hmm.
he's a silent flip to Auburn at this moment. Nothing's
Yeah.
concrete, nothing has been official. But I'm saying you're not going to get that type of player if you tell them, yeah, we're going to pass it 65% of the time, and you're only going to get it, you know, 10, 12 carries a game. You're not going
Well,
to get
yeah,
elite
but
level
if
running
you had
backs. You're not
said
going to keep
total
the elite level
yards,
running backs you
that's
have.
but see, that's the thing is you're talking total yards and I'm talking or I'm sorry, you're talking rushing yards
Yeah,
and I'm talking total yards. The running backs can get more yardage than just in the running game. Okay, look at Jeremiah Cobb is totally going to get more passes than he gets rushing attempts this year. And so we're going to be able to keep him around. I just disagree. I think this is a hot take.
you're entitled to your opinion. It's okay. That's what this is for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, speaking of Auburn, like I said, next 11, Hugh Freeze has a top two hurry up no huddle offense this year.
Top two.
Top
Hurry
two
up,
hurry up no huddle offense this year. So
no
behind,
huddle
it'd be behind,
offense.
it'd be either behind or ahead Ole Miss this year.
Oof, man.
Because everywhere Hugh Freeze has been, it's been hurry up no huddle. Every single place he's been, it's not going to change this year.
Oof, man. Okay. So here, I guess, what is your qualifications? Are we talking about speed at which plays are getting off, or
That would be hurry up no
statistically
huddle.
speaking? Oh
Well,
yeah, I know. I'm just saying
I'm speaking. I would say, yeah, the production from your hurry up no huddle offense.
the production from your hurry up no huddle offense. Okay, I think that's a hot take. I don't think it's super hot, but it's a warm take. I think it's a warm take. Second year, Thorn. Oh man, I think it's a warm take, warm to hot. I don't know if
Okay,
they can
I
run
can
that
live with
offense
that.
this year. I don't know if they can
There's
run
just
that
no doubt in
offense
my
this year.
mind that they don't. There's no doubt in my
Next
mind.
year,
Actually, no doubt in my mind they do run the hurry up no huddle this year.
yeah,
No doubt.
next year with Walker White or Juju Lewis, they totally could.
It's gonna happen, Cameron. You just watch. Rivaldo Fairweather doubles his stats from 2023.
Okay, what was his 2023 stats?
I think. Sorry, let me look it
Okay,
up real quick.
so let's see here. We have too many receivers. I'm gonna say it's hard to do that because we have so many receivers that we gotta get the ball to. Um, but man, he's just so talented.
I got him right
I
here.
Okay, let's hear him.
38 receptions, 394 yards. I'm not saying he was going to double the receptions because
Right?
getting,
Yeah,
74 receptions or 76
that
receptions is
would
going to be
be
hard.
insane.
394 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Um, that's cool. I think that's cool. I think it's a cool take. I think it
All
very
right.
well could happen. I don't think he's going to quite double it, but he's going to be pretty close, especially yardage. Touchdowns maybe touchdowns maybe a little bit more, but I could also see less because I think we're going to have a certain freshman wide receiver they're going to rack up touchdown receptions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of Fairweather and receptions, Cam Coleman is Auburn's third leading wide receiver behind KLS and Fairweather.
Um, Geez, here you are again, being a Cam Coleman downer.
No, that's
I'm
not what it
buying into the
is.
hype. I'm buying into the hype. I'm booging, man. That is the hottest of hot takes. Cam Coleman is going to be number two on this team at worst. Number two in receptions, number two in yardage, and touchdowns. He might be a little bit further behind, but I think he's going to be number two or number one in touchdowns. He might. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I mean,
no. That is
I
the
see.
hottest of hot
I
takes.
differ. I feel
I,
differently because I actually believe that one wholeheartedly. I don't. I'm not doubting Cam Coleman at all. I know he's a friggin' stud. I know he can ball, but so can KLS and friggin' Fairweather.
okay. So, what do you think KLS is going to be doing then?
Getting the ball.
Okay.
That's what he's
All
gonna
right.
be doing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
um, Auburn's offensive line is top 5 in sacks allowed in 2024 in the
Top
country,
five. The positive
not just
end,
the SEC.
not the
Yeah, yeah.
negative end.
Top 5. Not that would be bottom 5. Top 5 in
Ooh.
sacks allowed.
See, I want to say that is a freezing cold take, but I don't have a lot of faith in Peyton Thorne. I think he panics too much, um, and he doesn't throw the ball away. That was a big thing that we talked about
You
last
see,
year.
this the hell he does. He throws the
No,
ball away
no, he
way
did
too much.
not.
You're
No, he was
crazy.
not throwing the ball. He was holding on to it and running or getting sacked.
Yeah, and he would throw it away
He
as
was
he's getting. So he threw the ball away way worse than Bo Nix ever did. I'm talking
no.
about throwing
Both.
the ball away downfield in the field of play, not out of bounds, because he
Oh yeah,
panics
and I'm
and he
talking
throws the
about out
ball
of
away
bounds.
in the field of play.
I'm talking about out of bounds. I'm talking about out
Well,
of
yeah,
bounds.
I
Peyton
agree with
Thorne
that.
never did that. Never did that. He should have done it probably 6 times in the Texas A&M game last year and just never did. It's just like, why are we taking the sack there? So I think it says more to Peyton Thorne than the line. I think that is
No, the
a
line
Luke.
would have a lot to do with that, Cameron. Because I mean, if
Uh,
he's thinking he's
no,
safe on his blind side, and he turns to look, and there's someone down his friggin' throat, you're gonna panic. A smart player obviously would throw the
no.
ball out of
I'm
bounds.
saying no. I'm saying that the offensive line could give him all the time in the world, but Peyton Thorne is going to take too much time. Is not going to make the right decision, or is he fails the lineman?
So
Is what I'm
you're
saying.
thinking he's still gonna take the sacks even if he's given all the
Yeah,
time in the world. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I can get on board with that. I mean,
yeah.
it's not my most
I
believable hot
think.
take because I happen to side with you more on it than my hot take. But I feel that Peyton Thorne is taking a step forward this year. Everything I've
I hope
heard,
he
everything I've
does.
seen, Peyton Thorne has taken at least 2 steps forward and half a step back. I don't know, but
Yeah,
he's progressed and gotten better from everything I've
yeah.
seen and heard.
I well, my thing is I think the offensive line could very well be top 5 in the country in sacks allowed. But if they're not, it's because Peyton Thorne screwed them over. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
I can get behind
Yeah,
that. All
yeah.
right. Speaking of sacks, Falk and McLeod are top 3 in sacks in the SEC combined. Combined, not
Um,
if McLeod can
top
stay
three.
healthy. Top 3 in the SEC in sacks. If McLeod can stay healthy, it's so friggin' feasible. It's ridiculous.
Let's see here. McLeod
Because
gets, we'll say at best, 8 sacks, which would be awesome. Falk gets 5 sacks. Top three, I think it's a hot take. I think it's a hot take.
you think Falk only gets 5 sacks this year?
Yeah,
Falk would have had
at
more last
best.
year if McLeod never got hurt.
Five, five would be huge for Falk. I think he
I
had like
think
2 sacks
7
last
or
year.
8 would be huge. I think if both of them could get 8, that would already solidify it.
Mm,
And that can happen.
yeah, I think it's a hot take. I just don't see Falk being that guy. I think he's a great defensive lineman, and I think he is a all around really good player. But his pass rushing skills, unless he improved drastically on his pass rushing skills, I don't think we're going to see that high of sack total from him.
So here
He
you
will
go,
get more
being
sacks than what he did
Falk
last
downer
year.
again.
Yeah, basically.
Staying on the second, I mean, staying on
Oh,
the defense, Cameron, Auburn will have the best secondary in the SEC.
ooh.
I actually gave this hot take on X tonight, and guess who retweeted it?
Okay,
Daryl
who?
Baprich. He
Whoa.
seems to agree with me.
Yeah, he does. Holy crap. He retweeted it?
He retweeted it.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Um I think I'm just trying to think of a secondary in the SEC that's going to be better than them.
You
Um
can't because there isn't.
well, which secondary players out of Georgia were drafted? Not hardly any,
I
right?
don't give two shits about Georgia. So I only know of Brock Bowers and McConkey that got drafted. I don't care about Georgia other than when they lose.
And you said they're going to be the best. It's not like
The
you
best
didn't say
secondary.
top
And
2 or top 3.
here's another mini hot
Mm.
take inside that hot take. K and Lee contributes more to that best secondary than Keontae Scott, Antonio Kai, or anyone else in secondary.
Ooh. Um, okay, so the first take about the best secondary, I think that's a lukewarm. I think it's lukewarm. I think Georgia is going to be the best. Um, as far as Kay and Lee having bigger impact on the defense than Scott and Kite, um, I think that's a cool take. I think it's a cold take.
So you think that would happen?
Yeah, yeah, I think he very well could. I think he could have, so he could have quite a few interceptions and pass breakups.
I
I
don't
could
think
see
he's
that
going to have
happening.
that many interceptions. He might bat balls in the air. I think he's going to have more pass breakups than
But see,
interceptions. Um, but I
This leads
definitely
me to my thought about the sack totals. I think we're going to get pressure on the quarterback. I just don't think we're going to get the sacks. So I
okay,
think the pressure from those players are
which
going
would
to
cause interceptions.
contribute to
Okay,
interceptions. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Actually,
and so
I agree with that. I agree with that.
yeah.
Same page. You are going to love this one, Cameron.
Oh.
You are so ready for this one. I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
Thorne throws for 3,000 yards. He has no. Listen, Cameron. Listen. He
Oh
has
my
he
gosh.
has similar receivers and running backs to what he had in Michigan State when he threw for
Oh yeah, yeah.
3,200 yards. He's
Oh
throwing
yeah,
for
yeah.
3,000 yards this year.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely not. He throws for maybe 2,500. He doesn't. He doesn't sniff 3,000. He doesn't.
I
Hey, prove me
but
wrong,
your
Peyton
boy
Thorne.
Cam Coleman, Cameron. What
Yeah.
happened? What happened?
Hey, you can put up 1,200 yards as a receiver, and your quarterback still only throw 2,500.
I reckon.
That's what I'm saying.
I still think it
I do
happens.
not
Better
believe in Peyton
offensive
Thorne.
line, better wide receiver room, and he still got Rivaldo Fairweather
Those
and a
facts
stable of
are
running backs that can
yeah.
freaking catch out of the
Those
backfield.
are all facts. Those are all facts. And he had this might be the most talented wide receiver room that he's ever had.
Yeah,
And so
best
I
offensive
agree
line
with
he's ever had.
those. But I think Peyton Thorne is going to get unseated as the quarterback at some point this year. And so that easily, I don't think that's going to happen.
Who's
He's
going to
not going
unseat
to
him?
sniff
I know the
3,000.
answer. Who's going to unseat him?
Who?
No, I'm asking you. Who do you think is going to unseat him? I know what
Oh,
your answer is going to be. But I'm asking you. Who's going to unseat him?
Hank Brown.
I knew it.
Hank Brown. Yeah. Yeah. Walker White, maybe if he takes a giant leap forward in practices and whatnot, but I think Hank Brown. I
Okay.
think, yeah. So,
I would agree. If things start crumble, Hank Brown would be the next guy called. I think.
yeah.
Unless they wouldn't, unless they do actually get Juju Lewis to commit, don't want to lose Walker White, they would give Walker White the start over Hank. I think
That's
because
that's
he
that's
Walker
fair.
White would be a bigger loss than Hank Brown in my opinion.
It's hard to say at this point.
Yeah, it
We haven't
is,
seen
but just
anything.
as it stands right now, I would say just from recruiting rankings
From
alone.
yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, here's the next one. Damari Allison runs for 800 yards and 10 touchdowns.
I think 800 is a little high, but I think that's a cold take. I think he could go for 650, 700. Double digit touchdowns. He seemed to
So how
get
many does
more goal
Jarquez
line
go for
carries
then,
than,
Cameron?
huh?
How many does Jarquez go for then?
Yards, 8 or 900.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
have. I think we can have just over 2,000 yards rushing with Peyton Thorne, Jarquez, Damari Alston, and Cobb.
So I think we're gonna eclipse 2,000 by a large amount with
Well, yeah, I
Peyton,
think yeah,
Jarquez, and Damari. So I was thinking more of
yeah,
the
based
24 to
off.
2,500 total for a team.
Yeah, I think we're under 2,200 as a team.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that would give. So you're saying between Cobb and Thorne?
yeah, between Cobb and Thorne and Jarquez and
So who has
Alston. So
more,
if that's
Cobb or Thorne?
uh, Thorne, but by a slight margin.
Well, what if he
Because I
gets
think
unseated?
well then, yeah, Cobb, obviously.
Okay. All
I'm just
right.
going off of what was proven last year.
Okay.
And
Well,
Thorne is
he
going to
ran
pull
the
it
shit
and
out of the
run.
ball last year.
Yeah, he
Look
did.
what he did to
He did.
Arkansas, man. Made them look stupid. He looked like Cam Newton out there.
Oh, don't even. Don't. How did I know you were going there? Don't. Peyton Thorne and Cam Newton's name should not be in the same sentence other than, hey,
They played
two
at Auburn.
quarterbacks that played at Auburn are Thorne and Cam Newton. That's the only sentence that they deserve to be in the same sentence with. Don't even move on. Next take. Next take. Don't. I'm so pissed off at you right now.
Hugh Freeze is a Coach of the Year candidate.
Ooh, that is freezing cold.
Really?
Freezing cold. Yeah, yeah. I don't think people are ready for the turnaround. Um,
They're not.
I
They're not
yeah,
ready. I,
yeah.
I don't think it's freezing cold because there's still a lot of work to be done. I mean, to be a Coach of the Year candidate, they would have to add at least 3 more wins from last year.
Oh yeah. I think
Which
that can happen.
my schedule prediction, my personal schedule prediction is already pinned to our X. It's got us going
Yeah,
10-2.
I disagree with that. I
Okay.
disagree with our official prediction.
I said it's
Um,
my personal one. I say
okay,
ours,
okay, okay. I
mine.
got you. I got you. My bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, no, I think Hugh Freeze. I think he is because I don't think there's going to be any other teams that make that leap. Um, Eli Drinkowitz. I don't think Missouri is going to maintain. I don't think they are. I think they're going to
They're returning
Missouri
their
and
quarterback, man. They got their leading receiver coming back. Missouri is it has every bit of
yeah.
momentum moving forward.
Nope. They don't have every bit. Every bit with them still be having the thicker kicker, and he's gone.
So
It's just
retarded.
over with. Eli Drinkowitz is nobody without his thicker kicker.
Okay. I mean, they lost their friggin' leading rusher he led the SEC in rushing yards a game,
Here's a hot take.
but that's the only thing they really lost.
Here's a hot take. Missouri misses more field goals this year than any other team in the SEC.
Just because they lost their starting kicker.
Well, just because he was their long kicker,
So is he
and
the
they're
next Anders Carlson?
no, no. Okay. Next one. Next one.
This the
We're coming
last
up on
one.
our time. This is the last one.
Yep, this
Okay,
last
perfect
one.
timing. Yeah.
Auburn signs a top 5 to 3 recruiting class.
Ooh, that is a cold take. I think it's very plausible. Especially, I mean, we are the number 8 or the number 9 recruiting class right now as it stands in the country, and that is without a skill position on the offensive side of the ball. We get Juju Lewis, Alvin Henderson, and maybe a receiver Cunningham. Oh
Yep,
man,
Caleb Cunningham.
you were talking top 3 at that point if they get all
Oh
3 of those
yeah, I would
guys.
agree. Because I messaged kind of back and forth with linebacker commit Tyler Lockhart, and he
Yeah,
says that Caleb Cunningham is the one player he's working on the most to try to get him to come to Auburn as well. And I know they've all been flirting with each other, so
yeah,
I do think top 3 is very feasible.
yeah. So, all right. Well, Josh, those were great hot takes. I absolutely love this conversation. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, notification bell, so you're notified anytime we put up
Ding,
videos.
ding.
Josh, tell the people where they can reach you at.
War Eagle Weekly on X, War Eagle Weekly on TikTok, War Eagle Weekly on YouTube, everywhere is War Eagle Weekly. Give us a follow. Good content. Always
Hell yeah.
always tweeting out, always posting stuff on TikTok, upload videos weekly on YouTube. Come check us out, hang out, let us know what you guys think.
Yep. War Eagle, Josh.
War Eagle.